Welcome back, you beautiful souls. This is a return to an old what if. What if Izuku was the only male-born quirk? This is an old series. The reason, pardon me, the reason why a lot of my old series it's taken a time for them to come back is because I lost the notebook for a few of them. In one notebook, a couple have gotten destroyed. So I've recently rewatched the last couple of episodes of it to see where I left the series off. I will completely rewatch the series today, so if things with Monoma and Shoto are different, I will do a 0.5 to this episode and retcon a few things before the next episode comes out. So for all of you who haven't seen the first episode, I will leave a link to the playlist for this series in the description below, along with a Discord invite. With Discord, there's a lot of things that I'm going to be doing. So on Discord, with the you might want to go on there because there are a few series that I will be putting out that will get a full 24 hours before the general public. Basically, I will do some uploads that are unlisted, and I'll put a link into the general chat. I.e., one recently is the What If I Became Cooler series will be one such series. That way I can get them pre-recorded, pre-upload, and have them set for a date, but I will do a link in Discord to the video before I add them to playlist and everything and make them public so everyone else can see them. So that being said, let's get into our story. Where we last left off our series, so go to the first episode, because spoilers in 3, 2, 1. So where we last left off our story, Izuku had basically given a couple of people some quirks. And so he's basically healed All Might in her injury. Basically now All Might has a one for all quirk that will store energy, and she can use that energy to basically do her hero work. But she also has a combat oriented stockpiling quirk and a regen quirk. She has a regen quirk just as strong as the no move that Izuku had fought in the previous part to the last part of this. So a few things, and he's also given Katsuki a minor shock absorption quirk, not a combat oriented one, but a small one. That way she can use her explosions actually use a little bit more force in her explosions. And he's also given he's basically given Monoma an upgrade to where she can get where she can slot 2 quirks and keep them permanently, but she can train the other side of the quirk of her quirk to where she what her character did in canon when Monoma in canon trained and was able to increase his time limit to 10 minutes. Our Monoma, she'll be able to increase her time limit of the quirks that she has, but if she wants to, she can slot 2 quirks. So, but she actually has 3 slots. But she will have to work for it. It's not something that she will just get out the box. So, and so where we last left off in the series as well, like the very last part of the video, All Might and Izuku basically brought the 2 girls to their home. And they're going to be getting a few more days of training to like work on their new quirks in preparation for the sports festival. So, all that being said, let's begin this. Sorry about that, I had a knock at the door. So, Izuku, Katsuki, and Monoma are prepping for the sports festival. They get a few extra days to like really like work on their quirk, and it's basically sunrise to sunset. So they get back to school. They come to the sports festival. Now a few things change here because of Izuku. Like literally because Izuku exists in a world where only female, like born females, develop quirks. Izuku being a boy, being a male, like born male, and has a quirk, it's going to draw more attention to this. So more pros are going to be in attendance to watch it, but also UA has stepped up the security a lot more than what they did in canon because of Izuku. And because they do what they did in canon, increase the security because of the USJ attack, but also it's to an even greater deal because Izuku's in this. So when all the students are in the dugout, a lot of girls are looking at him. There are a few boys there that are in like the support class that they may not have a quirk, but they have a genius level intellect, kind of like David's shield. Like, I will watch that later. So, like David's shield, David's quirk involves his hands, but as far as all the tech and stuff that he makes, that's just his natural intelligence. The same thing with his daughter Melissa Shield. She doesn't have a quirk, but she's a genius. Like in Nai, I would say a super genius, but she's quirkless. So it's the same concept here. Because UA opened up to like males being in it, because they were initially an all-female school. Then I can't believe if I did it in the series to where Izuku was one of the first ones. If not, I apologize about that. I didn't rewatch like the series from the beginning. So my apologies on that. And like I said, I'll make a 0.5 in retcon and fix a few things that I made a mistake on. So that being said, Izuku's stepping in there. All the girls are staring at him, and he begins to like look down, and he's trying to like clear his mind. And then he hears two girls say, "Izuku, don't worry about what everyone said. Don't worry about all them staring. Just show them why you're here." And Izuku like lifts his head up, and he sees Katsuki standing there, and to his surprise, he also sees Shoto. And both of them just kind of give him that look, and is like, "Come on, man, let's do this." And so present Mike, she does what her canon counterpart does with like the speech about it. And then Aizawa, she said, like, is asked, like, what should we be paying attention to? And Aizawa, she says, the gate. And as she says that, just like in canon, Shoto, she creates the eyes. But at the same time, they just see two blurs, like, pass out. And Shoto's like, damn it, I thought I got at least those two. As she goes out, and she's kind of playing a catch-up game now to Izuku and Katsuki. So they're going, and they're progressing really nicely, just like in Kitten. Shoto is able to catch up to Izuku and Katsuki, and this is when Katsuki basically does like what Izuku did to Shoto in canon, basically giving like a small speech saying, damn it, nerd, why are you holding back? I know you're faster than this, and how am I supposed to prove that I'm better than you if you just always hold back? And Izuku just like looks at Katsuki, then turns to like Shoto, and he's like, damn it, I don't want to show off my power. People will think I'm more a monster. And then he's like, fine. If you want it like that, Kachan, then have it. And Izuku cranks it up another notch. Katsuki's like, shit, I didn't think he would actually do it. And she begins to create stronger and stronger explosions to like propel herself through like the air and everything. Shoto, on the other hand, she's just standing there, and she's like, she's regretting, she's like, son of a bitch, I don't want to use their fucking core, kind of thing. And she, like, for a brief instance, like, flames come off of her body, and Izuku notices this. Like I said, this is one of those things I wasn't sure if Shoto did that or not. Like, I'm not sure if I gender bended her parents or I just swapped their roles in the relationship. So that being said, back to the race. Shoto and Katsuki, they're able to eventually catch up to Izuku, and they're breathing hard. They're getting close to it, and then Izuku's just like, one more burst. And as he lands, both Shoto and Katsuki just hear a crack, snap, as Izuku lands, and then Izuku, just like in canon, is just barely able to win. Like, he wins just by a hair. And he's thinking, it's like, damn it. Those things. And he's breathing, and he's kind of like limping on one foot, and he just stands up, like raising like his hand in the air, like with a single finger. Shoto and Katsuki kind of come running over to him, and Katsuki kind of catches him, and she's like, damn nerd, what'd you do? I went over my limits, and ow, my foot, it hurts. Should be fine in several minutes. Ow. And Shoto's like, oh my god, do we need to get recovery, girl? And Izuku says, no, it'll be fine. I got that damn thing's quirk back at the USJ, but it's weaker. It won't be as strong. Shoto's eyes just go wide, and she's like, okay, well, I think you should still go see Recovery Girl before the next event. So he goes visit Recovery Girl, and Recovery Girl, like, says, well, your quirk, it should take care of it, but here. As Recovery Girl kisses him, and... Sorry, I had to take something to drink. And Recovery Girl doesn't heal him completely, but gives him a nice little boost. And he's down, and he's like, thanks, that shaved off about 30 minutes. Thank you, Recovery Girl. I should be getting back to the stadium now. As he, like, dashes out. And Recovery Girl, she's just thinking, Toshi, I would have never thought that you would have taken a boy in after what they did to you back then. Well, I understand why, and it was mostly, but I can tell you two have gotten close. It makes me happy. Maybe if Nana was alive, she would be smiling at the way that you've come along, Toshi. And she's thinking about All Might and Nana and everything. In Recovery Girl, like, during, like, that week break, over those couple of days, did find out about, All Might getting healed. And just like I said in the last part, she's like, the less she knows about what happened, the better. But she's not stupid. But she knows that All Might has been healed because she has shown her. And All Might is at the point in her life now, because of basically raising a teenager in really, because it was initially about, like, the government assigning her to, like, watch over Izuku as a live-in guardian. And then Izuku on his 16th birthday, like, Izuku will pretty soon actually hand All Might some papers. And he's been waiting for this day. He's like, I'll ask her if my goal is to win this dang thing. And I'm going to give her these. And Izuku, like, he's sitting there waiting, and Katsuki walks up to him, and she's like, damn nerd, you've been holding back on our training sessions, haven't you? And Izuku's like, yeah, Kachan, sorry about that, it's just, I didn't want to hurt you guys, and, well, as you saw, I can't really go all out yet. My body's still adjusting to all the power and everything. I'm sorry. And Katsuki just kind of punches him in the shoulder, and it's like, don't worry about it, nerd. What me and Mom said, you're family, okay? If I was gonna have any rival, I'd want it to be my annoying little cousin. And Izuku grins, and he's like, yeah, and if and I couldn't have chose a better rival other than my annoying older cousin. And they both begin to laugh, and some of the girls from 1A are looking at the two, and they're like, what? Yeah, right, like you're not dating him. And this is Hinsuyu sitting there. So stop. So I forget the user. I would have to look back on my old comments and going back to, like, almost a year in Discord on my general chat to, like, actually find this person and go through, like, 100 different people on my message board to be able to find this user. But they were able to guess the ship that I was going to be doing in this series. It will be a Deku X Suyu. And I asked them if they wanted me to give Suyu a heater quirk. Not like a fire quirk, but a quirk that could combat her fallings of her mutation quirk. Basically, the colder the climate gets, the more energy she has to expend to like stay warm. Like, she's not cold-blooded, but she can exhibit characteristics of being cold-blooded because of her quirk. So she's like, damn it, he's really cute. And after a conversation, like after the USJ, I've been thinking how good it would be to go on a date with him. And the same thing is happening with Izuku. He did kind of like Suyu before they actually talked, and vice versa. And he's not really thinking about that right now. And he's got a few girls looking at him. You know, it's those eyes. He's like, oh, all right, Kajan, we should get going. They are about to announce like the next event. So they go there and they announce like the cavalry battle and everything. And Izuku's just thinking, he's like, crap. He goes to approach a few girls. They walk away from him, and he even approaches some of the boys, and they get away from him because they're pissed off at him. So, the cavalry battle, I'm going to say this, everyone that passes, that moves on to, like, the next events will pass in this, even though the teams change up a little bit. Though they wouldn't be placed at the same thing, but I'm just going to keep the matchups the same. So, the changes to this, unlike in canon where Katsuki, where the canon Katsuki, like, creates a team, the team will consist of, Deku's team will change with the addition of Monoma and Katsuki in not having, Dark Shadow's partner. I'm forgetting his name real quick, and I don't have it written down. Crap. But basically, Dark Shadow's partner and Ochako won't be on his team. But, well, no. No. Yeah. Sorry about that. I just noticed I had an X next to this, and like I rewrote it. So no. Tokiyami, that's it. There it is. So Tokiyami will still be on the team, but Ochako definitely won't, because I wanted to like actually do this. So Izuku's just sitting there, and then he's like looking down, and he's starting to cry a little bit. And then he feels like a hand on his shoulder, and Izuku's like, he looks up, and it's Monoma, and she's like, hey, Deku, do you want to be on our team? As she basically grabs, like, Tokiyami, like, pulling her near, and Tokiyami's like, why do we have, like, you do know we're going to be a target if he joins our team, right? Yeah, but he's really strong, and our quirks can play off of each other really well. Like, you could be the front horse, me, like, Izuku, he can be the back horse, and I can be the rider. And she, like, Tokiyami's like, yeah, that would be good, but then, she's like, and think about it. If he's on our team, you can give us, like, a small crash course on how you use your quirk, and the three of us with your quirk, we'd be unbeatable. Think about it. It'd be crazy. So they make up the plan, and both Izuku and also they're talking, getting a crash course on Tokiabe's quirk, like how Dark Shadow actually operates, and they both ask her if they can copy her quirk. They end up doing, but before they can get ready, they just hear, "You there? Hey, the boy with the quirk! Hey! Please let me join your team. I'll pay you 10,000 yen. Just please, for the love of God, let me join your team. You see, my quirk, it's telescopic vision, and I'm not in the hero course, but I'm in the support course, and being with you, I would definitely be able to show off my inventions." You see, as she begins to hand inventions to him, it's like, this one does this one does that, and Ezekiel, Mona begins to chuckle a little bit, and he's like, "Wait, what?" And she's like, "Oh, sorry, you probably wouldn't want to be with the support course." And then Ezekiel's he sees the feet, and he goes, "Hey, wait a minute, go back a few moments. You said that you had these jetpack boots. Wow, that's awesome. Okay, so definitely you can be on our team. About the money, don't worry about it. I'm surprised other people besides Monoma wants to be on my team." And May looks up at him and is like, "Do you mean that I could be on your team?" And Izuku's like, "Well, technically." He turns to Monoma, and Monoma's like, "Definitely. She would definitely be good. And matter of fact, with her quirk, wait a minute. Hatsume, was it? You said your quirk was telescopic vision, right? That means you're really good at seeing things." And May goes, "Yeah, I am. Hey, Izuku. Change of plans. I will take the rider seat. And May, you no, wait. So if all three of us are the horses, no, but then." And then Izuku pipes up, and he's like, "Hey, Monoma, do you mind if I say my plan?" And Monoma's like, "Go ahead." So Izuku's like, "How about we do this? Instead of you being the rider, we have May be the rider." And he turns to Tokiyami and tells her, "And Tokiyami, you can be our front horse since you've had longer time using Dark Shadow. You'd be more control. You and May will communicate. Me and Monoma will work on defense, and I'm pretty sure people will try to avoid getting within arm's reach of us. Well, with the exception of Katsuki. She already knows that me and Monoma won't take someone's quirk without asking first." And he says this part really, really low, kind of in a huddle with his team. And they go, "Wow, so you're banking on everyone but maybe Katsuki keeping their distance because of our quirks, right?" And Izuku's like, "Yeah, because, well, you see, they all know both of us have a copy quirk, and that would just add more fuel to our already impressive arsenal, you know?" And Izuku's like, "And Monoma, you still have it, right?" And she looks at Izuku, and she's like, "Damn it, nerd, I wanted to save that for later." "Yeah, well, if Shoto, if she gets us pinned in, we'll have to use it. I didn't copy her quirk either. I didn't copy her quirk, but you kept it, so we'll need that to get rid of some of the ice if that comes up." So they have their game plan. May will be the rider, and basically her and Tokiyami will be working together to collect headbands, and Monoma and Izuku will be using Dark Shadow and they do slot Dark Shadow, both of them. just so that they can go over the 5 minute, because I believe this portion was like 10 minutes. I believe this was like 10 minutes to 30 minutes, so it would have went over her time limit, and obviously Deku has to like slot it to keep it anyway. So they basically slot it in like one in their slots that they have open. So Izuku and Monoma will be providing defense as like the rear horses. So they have a really, really strong team. So, like, things progress like in canon, and basically Monoma's old team basically like approached Uraraka and asked her to be on their team to like make them lighter, because they already had pretty strong quirks to begin with. Monoma was just that extra flair. So they will still pass like in canon. They'll get the same amount of points. And unlike canon Monoma, this Monoma, like she still has that kind of superiority complex, but because of her interactions with Izuku, her personality has changed, kind of like Katsuki. Like, Monoma doesn't think she knows there's someone that's better with like the copy quirk than she is out there, because of Izuku. So, like, they pass. So, the only thing that changes between Izuku and Shinzo's fight is Izuku does take the person with the tail quirk's advice, and is only replies when he gets like really close to like Shinzo, and Shinzo says, "Bet the room. So are the rumors true about you staying with All Might because your parents died?" And this does get a response. And then Shinzo, she just grins and she's like, "I got you. Now walk off the stage." And Izuku like begins to walk, and then he's just thinking, "Stop! Why can't I stop?" And then he feels it. He has like the vision of like the vestiges. I'm not sure if I put it in 4, but he'll have a vision of the vestiges, and then he feels like the power build up in his arm, and then like one finger basically gets turned black as like it completely breaks and shatters, and Izuku's just like grabs his hand and he's like, screams out in pain. And Izuku then balls that hand up in a fist, and everyone can see like one finger kind of dangling out, waving in the wind. And all the pros are just amazed. They're like, "Whoa, like, how much, like, what can this boy do? He was showing off this? Wait, his quirk was copied. That means, oh my god. Well, I don't want him in my agency, because if he can do that, he'll take our quirks and all of this other stuff." There's a few of them, they don't necessarily think of him as a monster, but they're very impressed with him. By this point, the fact that he's a boy and he has a quirk and he was born male does interest a few people, and that's the only reason why they'll send him a thing, just because of that. So he then lifts his head up and he's just looking at Shinzo with a determined look, and he slowly walks over to her, picks her up as his arm begins to glow, and then just tosses her out. Then he walks over to her and helps her up, and he's like, "I'm sorry about that. Damn, your quirk's strong. You took everything I had to break out of that. Good match. If I haven't been training for years with my guardian, probably would have lost that. Your name was Shinzo, right? No, I'm not. I'm not in 1A because I'm a boy and I have a quirk. I worked my ass off to get in. Okay, I could have took a recommendation route because of but I wanted to get on my own merits. I wanted to prove to everyone that I've got to prove to everyone that I'm here because of my own merits, not because of everyone else that's helped me along this way. You should probably look into doing some physical training. With your quirk, you could definitely become a good hero. Like hell, in hostage situations, you could probably end it within a few seconds. And Shinzo, she smiles at Izuku and she's like, thanks, and sorry about using my quirk the way I did. Disregard what I said about your parents. I did hear as, like, she looks over and she sees a very angry Class 1A. She's like, I kind of overheard your girlfriend over there. As he's, like, pointing to Katsuki, and Izuku's like, ugh, she's not my girlfriend. We're family. We're not related by blood, but we've known each other since we were kids. And we view each other as, like, older and younger cousin kind of thing. But great match, as he shakes her hand and walks away. And everyone's just amazed, because they just saw, like, him basically strong-arm this chick, and then he's shaking her hand, and both of them walk away smiling. Shinzo's thinking, it's like, he really does deserve to be in 1A. Well, let's see what he can do. So, like in canon, the events play out same. Like all the matches will play out the same, like they do in canon. Like especially like the Tetsu and Kirishima like fight. Like that was just so funny. So instead of two boys doing this, you get two young girls. You get two girls sitting there just wailing on each other, trying to like break each other's like hardening, which is hilarious. Like even in canon, it was like funny, but you just have like extra quips and stuff that the two say. So then we get to the fight with Shoto and Izuku. And before the match starts, Izuku says, "Hey, Shoto, I know you only like using one side of your quirk. I don't know what it is, but I'm telling you this right now. If you don't go all out, you don't stand a chance against me. And I mean it. I'm here to win, and I'm going to use my full strength. So if you're not going to do it, you might as well just walk off the stage right now." And this just pisses Shoto off. She says, "What would you know?" And then Izuku says, "You forget who I've been living with for the past years. And my parents died. I'm here because the villain attacked my parents. And I'm going to show that bastard he didn't scare me. I'm going to use my quirk. And one day, I'm going to show the world that that person's a monster, not me. Just because I'm a boy and I have a quirk doesn't mean a damn thing. I worked my ass off to get here. And if you're not going to show me your full strength, you're being highly disrespectful to my sensei and everyone else here." This just lights the fire under Shoto, and she's like, "Fine then." She pulls out all this stuff. She's throwing fire at Izuku, creating ice walls and everything. And Izuku, like, he's smiling as he's like smashing through the pillars, and he's even laughing, and Shoto's like, "What's so funny?" And Izuku's like, I can finally go all out without fear of hurting someone. And Izuku begins to power up even more, and he's blitzing the pillars. Shoto's throwing out fire as he's getting close, and Izuku's jumping back with his quirk, with his regeneration quirk, kind of healing like the minor burns that he gets. And Shoto sees this, and both of them are just standing there. Izuku, he's been switching between quirks, using them. He's been using a lot of stamina. He's been using stamina in this fight, combined with getting healed by Recovery Girl. And he's like, I guess I'm going to have to use it. Forgive me, All Might, but I'm going to have to use those too. And he says, Shoto, thank you. Thanks for the fight, but I've got to end this now. Black Whip! As like black tendrils come flying out of Izuku's arm as he's dashing towards her. Shoto throws up like ice pillars in between the two. The black whip tendrils come shooting through it, and then grab her, and then pulls her down to the ground. And Izuku just slowly walks over. Shoto's like releasing fire. Izuku's going, ah! Give up now, Shoto, or I'm going to have to get even rougher. Oh! As like he goes to like punch her straight in the face, and she says, I give up! As Izuku stops like right in front of her face, and he's like, he grabs like his arm that's like burnt, and then he holds it up, and then he helps Shoto up, and he's like, damn, ow. And Shoto's like, Izuku, I'm sorry, I was just really mad. And Izuku's like, no, you're fine. I should be fine before my next match. My quirk should take care of this. See, it's already starting to heal, though I may have a scar from that. And then Shoto's like, I'm really sorry, Izuku, don't be mad at me. And Izuku then, turns to her and smiles, and he's like, why would I be mad? I did something even I couldn't do with Katsuki a lot. Katsuki's about the only other person that I could really use my full strength without, overdoing it. And she's like, okay, if you say so. And everyone in the stands is like, holy crap, how much power does this boy actually have? And he's a really good sport. This is the second person he's helped up. And he's like, thanks, Shoto. I really enjoyed the match. Really, thank you. So when Izuku, he begins to... okay, well, I will correct that in the part 5. So again, sorry if I get a few things mixed up. I haven't rewatched the entirety of it, but I did, recently. I did script some stuff out according to it, so I believe I did gender bend Shoto's parents. So that being said, we'll continue with the story. So Katsuki has her fight with Uraraka, and the same thing goes down. The only difference is Katsuki doesn't yell at Izuku about giving like Raka, the game plan. Like afterwards, Uraka wakes up and she sees like she's Katsuki there, and Katsuki, she tells Uraka, and she's like, "Damn, you're almost as bad as that damn nerd." In any case, thanks for the good match. Really opened my eyes to some of my weaknesses. I hope we can get stronger together. In any case, I need to get ready, because I'm fairly certain my next match is against that damn nerd. And Uraka's like, thanks, I guess. I'm sorry I couldn't have given you a better match. And Katsuki's like, just glares at her and says, "Damn round face, don't ever say that. You were a good opponent. You have a good head on your shoulders. Now, I need to go get ready." And now she's leaving, like, Izuku begins to come in the door, and he's like, ugh. She's like, "Out of my way, nerd." And I know you didn't give her, like, advice on that. Well, you probably had a plan, many ways to defeat me. I'm not gonna lose to you, nerd. And Izuku's like, rebuttal's like, "Yeah, well, I'm not gonna let you win either, Ka-chan." As they kind of like fist bump each other and walk away. Conversation with Izuku and Uraka happens, and she tells Izuku the same thing. So, unlike in canon, Izuku basically knocks out Zero, like the tape girl, like no problem. And the final match comes down to Katsuki and Izuku. Everyone's just watching them, and they're just standing there for a few moments, even after like they say go. One moment. Sorry about that. So they're standing there, and then both of them begin to laugh, and I mean like laugh, and Katsuki just like walks up to Izuku, and Izuku's like, "We both know who would win, right, Ka-chan?" And Katsuki's like, "Yeah, well, take this. Let's see who's better at using this quirk." And Izuku reaches out his hand, and Katsuki reaches out her hand, and Izuku copies it, and he's like, "Are you sure about this?" And Katsuki's like, "Yeah, nerd, just think of it as a belated birthday gift, and for all those years that I picked on you. And for, well, you know." And she then she like walks away laughing, and she cracks her knuckles, cracks her head, and everyone's like, "Whoa!" In Aizawa, she explains that the two have known each other since they were kids. And present Mike, she's like, "So, they're fated rivals." And Aizawa's like, "Yes, but out of everyone in the class, it seems like those two push each other to get better and better. More so than anyone else that I've seen in a while. It almost makes me think of two particular pros. But this is going to be fun." And at that, they're like, President Mike's, "What do you mean by that?" "Just watch. You all know that that the young boy there has a copy quirk. Do you realize what just happened? They probably planned this out from the beginning." And at that, they just see Izuku produce like a huge explosion. Katsuki laughs and rips her own explosions. The two get into it, fighting hand to hand, because Izuku knows he's not going to, like, even if he used like his other quirks, Kachan's shock absorption quirk will be able to like minimize a lot of the other power of the other quirks. So, Katsuki knew that Izuku has regeneration, so her explosion quirk wouldn't really do long-lasting damage, and they already knew this was going to be a game of attrition between the two. So, during that little spout, Katsuki's like, I want to see if I'm truly better with my quirk, or if it's just because of what you did, nerd. What you gave me. She said this so no one else would be able to hear it. And Izuku's obliging. He does want to win this, and he is trying. So, Izuku, he's getting pressed, and Katsuki's just coming at him with more and more explosions. He finally goes to, use another quirk, and as he does, he thinks, he's like, crap, this is going to hurt. Katsuki comes down on, his head with a kick, and then makes a huge explosion right next to his chest, which sends him flying. And the same thing happens with Katsuki, as Izuku created an explosion to kind of counteract it. But the two kind of combined, and Cementos just starts putting up, concrete barriers after the two got flung to, kind of stop this. And when the dust and everything clears, they see Izuku outside the ring, and they see, a hand on, the other side of the ring, as Katsuki, barely is able to pull herself back up onto the ring, and she passes out with a smile on her face. She's like, did the damn nerd do it? Or did I do it? Did I finally beat him? Ow. As she passes out. Everyone's freaked out because they just see Izuku's chest, and part of his his ribs are exposed. They see bone. But then they see it slowly healing. Izuku, he slowly stands up and he's coughing up some blood. Everyone's horrified by this. But then, Recovery Girl comes out and she basically heals him, gives him, a kiss, and he starts to, heal a lot faster. And there's whoa, that Katsuki girl, her quirk's dangerous. I can't believe she did that to another student. Izuku then asks Midnight if he can say something, as he goes and helps Katsuki up onto her thing, and she hands Izuku the mic, and he says, so many of you are here today because, well, I did want to win this, and some of you may be thinking, my best friend here, Katsuki Bakugo, she hurt me really bad. It still hurts a little bit, but I recently, the USJ attack, there was a villain there that I had to copy their regeneration quirk, and well, it's not that strong, but damn, Kachan, you could have held back there. Your arm, it's even hurt a little bit. We should be getting you go, but good job. Next time, I'm going to win. As he passes the mic back to, because he did see everyone kind of glaring at Katsuki. So they get Katsuki to the infirmary, and Izuku's there too, and he's sitting there and he's like, ow, 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 as Recovery Girl's cinching up some bandages, and she's like, you're lucky, young man, that you have a regeneration quirk now, and you, young girl, you could have killed him if you didn't have that. And as she's tightening up bandages on Katsuki, and Katsuki said, ow, yeah, I know, I wouldn't have gone so hard, but it was the only way I could beat the damn kid. He was about to use other quirks, and I wouldn't have stand a chance. It was my last chance Knock him out of the ring. I had to take it. Ow. Ow. Damn it, Isuku. You got me really good, too. And the two, like, begin to laugh. All Might, she walks in, and she's, like, smiling at the two. Well, you two, it's about time for the medal ceremony. Let's get you two out on the stage. And they're walking there. Katsuki's standing there with bandages on her hands, like completely bandaged up. She also has like one of her eyes covered with an eye patch. She's not blind or anything, but she did have like a gash on her eye because of like the fight. Like Izuku in her fight was really brutal. And it really showcased like how far Katsuki has come since the beginning of the year. And their classmates are just looking at her. They're like, damn. Even Shoto's looking at Katsuki's like, holy shit, she's strong. Monama's just thinking, well, if she didn't get that shock absorption quirk, no doubt Izuku would have won. So, during the medal ceremony, Tokiyami and Ida are standing there. And unlike in canon, Ida won't go after the hero killer because Izuku over this time has like talked about how he like even though he wants to like bring in the villain that hurt his family, he still can't just willy-nilly go out and seek revenge. If anything, he wants to do it the right way and bring the guy to justice. Like actually being like a real hero. Basically, his view on like what a hero should be. So it has changed Ida. She won't, like her canon counterpart, seek out the hero killer, but she will take like the same thing, but she won't go off on her own. She'll work with the hero instead to capture the hero killer. So she's there with Tokiyami in the third place stand. All Might hands in medals and tells the girls, "You girls have really improved since your entrance exam. I was there. I watched it and helped grade you two. I've watched you two really develop your quirks. Tokiyami, your quirk Dark Shadows, very interesting one. There's not too many sentient quirks out there. So, train well, and no doubt in my mind you will become a great hero. And you, Ida, she leans in, and because All Might would have heard about like Ingenia, and he leans in and whispers in her ear, saying, "And your brother, don't worry about it. There may be a way for us to help him out, but I will have to talk to a few people. Just give us some time. Don't worry about it." Ida begins to like tear up, and All Might kind of like hugs her a little bit, and Ida wipes her eye, and she's just standing there with like the face. And then she walks over to Izuku. And she basically hands Izuku the medal and then moves to Katsuki and says, "Young Bakugo, you've exceeded all of our expectations. When I first met you, you were brass and abrasive, but over this past week and few months, I've grown to understand you a bit." And then she turns to Izuku. "That brings me to my other point." As she like whispers this, "Always push him to be better. I know you two haven't always been good friends, but You guys are family, and family sticks by each other. Don't do what some of us older people have done in the past. Be there for him. Push him to be better. Without you, without you as motivation, I don't think he would be as good as he is. In the little part of... And then Izuku, afterwards, after, like, the sports festival, All Might does, like, in her small might form, she's with they're with the Bakugos, and they're going to be going out to dinner. But earlier that day, Izuku got caught with some paperwork by Sui, because Izuku did, after the sports festival, did find Suyu, and he's like, "Hey, Su, can I talk to you?" And then she's like, "What is it, Midoriya-chan?" And Ribbit, he walks up to her and he's like, you were pretty amazing out there. And sorry you didn't get to go to the latter part." And she's like, "It's okay, Midoriya. What did you want to talk to me about?" Ribbit, and he looks at her and he begins to, like, blush a little bit. And he's like, after we talked after the USJ, and I don't know, I've always thought you were cute, and, well," he begins to mumble and everything, and then he says, and then he finally says, "Would you go out on a date with me?" As, like, he's, like, kneeling, as he's, like, bowing, and then he just hears, like, some laughing, and he looks up, and he thought Suyu was laughing at him, and he's like, "Oh, it's funny to you. I get it." And then he sees Suyu, she's not laughing, but then he's like, and Kachan comes around, like, clapping her hands, and Monoma's like giggling too, and he's like, "Monoma, come out too. I hear your laughter." And she's like, I'm sorry. And then they look at Suyu, and Suyu's just blushing and, like, just kind of standing there, and Izuku's like, "Can you two give us some privacy, please?" And Kanchi's like, "Sorry, I came to find you. I invited Monoma already. Mom, she wants to take me out to, like, dinner to celebrate me winning. And she wanted me to ask for you two. She asked if I wanted some friends to come by, and asked if you two could come." Turning to Monoma, and Monoma's like, "Free food and chance to hang out with the winner of the sports festival. Also to hang out with, like, one of my good friends. Firecracker, I wouldn't miss this for the world." It's like, kind of like, as Monoma's, like, laughing as, like, the two walk off, and Izuku turns back to Sue, and he's like, "So, yeah, I'm sorry, you probably didn't think of me like that." And this is when Sue pipes up. She's like, "Midoriya-chan, I was off-put by you. I did think you were cute. I accept. I'll go out on a date with you. I didn't think you would like me. Like, I thought you and Katsuki were a thing." And Izuku's like, "No, we were... If anything, she's like a cousin to me and a sister. A lot of people think that just because of the way we act around each other." So Izuku, they talk for a few moments, and then All Might comes up, and he's like, "Izuku, my boy, it's time for us to get going. We have to get ready for dinner." And Izuku's like, "What?" And then she leans down and picks him up, and she hugs him, like, really hard. It's like, "You did it. You showed the world that you're here, and you showed them that you're not the monster that a lot of people thought you were." Like your actions, helping your opponents, always showing kindness. A lot of people did see that. And there's also something I wanted to discuss with you. My old mentor. She had talked to me that she won't, after the sports festival, she'd want to offer you a work study. Wait, what? You really? And she says, yes. Now, as she's putting Izuku down, now, we should get home and get ready for dinner. Like Mitsuki, she called me up and told me about what she was going and invited me along as well. After Katsuki said she wanted you to come. So, we need to get ready and get showered and you need to recover some. So they leave, they get ready for dinner. They go out, like, fun times are had, like, Katsuki and Monoma makes, like, jokes about, like, Katsuki, about Izuku holding back because about, like, Katsuki being a cute girl, both of them kind of, like, Izuku, like, says, it's not like that, while Katsuki, like, not hits Monoma in the back of the head. Damn it, you damn copy bastard. We already told you it's nothing like that. Monoma laughs, like, yeah, but it's fun to pick on you two about that. Also, Izuku, like, are you going to be going on a date with that Sue chick? And this is when Katsuki goes, yeah, how did that go? And Izuku, like, begins to blush, and both Mitsuki and All Might like go, oh, wow. And All Might's like, huh. So, All Might's like, so Izuku, my boy, you finally asked her out. You finally had the guts to ask her. And this is when Izuku's like, yeah, All Might, I was going to do this if I won, but, well, since we're here with family and he turns to Monoma friends, I wanted to give this to you. And Izuku hands All Might an omelet, and All Might's like, what is this? And she's looking, she opens it up, and then, like, she basically falls to her knees, and she's crying, and she's like, yes, I will. I didn't think you really thought of me that much. I know you've been calling me Mom, but yes. And Izuku walks and helps All Might up, and Mitsuki asks, like, what is it? And she basically shows the document to Mitsuki, and Izuku's like, she turns to Izuku, so that's why you wanted a lawyer. And then she, like, turns to All Might and is like, well, I guess that this is going to make you part of the family, officially. So, Izuku, he basically already had paperwork filed and everything, so all Might has to do is sign, get it notarized, and turn in the document, and All Might will officially be Izuku's, like, stepmom, or, like, adoptive mother. Like, truly be, like legally his mother. Like, she is his guardian, but that's just because he was kind of a ward of the state. With this, All Might will officially be Izuku Midoriya's mother. Well, his new name will be Yagi Midoriya, because he'll hyphenate it. He did talk to All Might, and she basically told him you should keep your parents' last name just to honor their memory. And he's like, okay, well, then Yagi Midoriya then will be my new last name. So they finish up the paperwork and they turn it in. So that being said, I hope you beautiful souls enjoyed the comeback of this series. This will be something that will continue. This will probably be another one of my monthly what ifs that I will save for the week of old what ifs, because I plan on doing like the last week, either the last week or the first week in the month will be dedicated to old what ifs, and I'll try to do a different old what if for each day of that week. And the other 3 weeks, I'll work on specials and doing a couple of episodes of other what ifs. So that being said, like, comment, let me know down and below what you think so far. And I will see you beautiful souls in the next video.